whatever milestones that Black people make against hate, it ends up benefiting all the other people of color. I can't see what his end game is. The Republican Party is the party of racism, is the party of white supremacy, is the party of hate. This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
Everybody wants to go back and drag that piece of history up, but they don't want to go back and deal with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people and to Black people in this country. You got to go. And you got billionaires talking about going to space and Jeff Bezos. Go! Never come back. I hope you get lost. This man has lost his mind.
Boom! Come on, girlfriend. What is going on, family? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And in 2022 and 2021, the team I was part of, we reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on March 19th. Now, I've been told tomorrow is spring, but we still got snow here in Toronto where I am. There's still snow. So I know the two ladies, probably where they are, they don't have snow. If anything, they probably have rain, if anything, but we got snow here still. So can you push? I'm asking Jill and LaLa to push either the rain or snow north of the 49th parallel so I can say it's, spring. Actually, what I think, I'm going to bring them on. I actually have an idea I'm going to do one day. I'm actually going to do an idea. I am actually, one day, I'm going to host the show from outside.
Nice. It would be nice. Lovely.
Just no, there's probably a Wi-Fi issue. I'm going to have to have a very long Ethernet code, but I'd like to, but we do it in the, how would there be darkness? How am I going to get through? I'm going to have to get some sort of lamp.
Oh, right. Yeah, you guys are in the dark.
Because Jill would be in the light because she's on the left coast. True. And LaLa, you're on the east. We'd have to figure, but we'd have to do something. I'd have to do something about doing it in a different locale. Gotta think of something there.
That would be nice, though.
Yeah, we'll put our thinking caps on.
Yeah, we'll put get our brains to work, to work. Oh, actually, I was chatting with my dad about half an hour ago, and he says, "What's woke mean?" And I said, "Dad, don't go there." So I think, what I think I'm gonna do? I'm either gonna get LaLa or Jill or Aisha to get on a call. Oh gosh, would that be? Oh my gosh, would that? Oh no, that would be. If I could pull, that's what I have to do. Host another one from my dad's place and have him co-host and join me because.
Yes.
He called me up today. He said, "Son, I'm sick of 45." I said, "Then don't watch him."
I'm so sick of him. I think his body is sick of him too. He doesn't look so good these last couple of days. His body looks like it's rejecting him at this point.
Yeah. So Jen is with us. Hello, Jen. How are you? And I see here you got some snow in Cleveland. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Tell me, Jill, and I didn't realize you're wearing a woke shirt.
I didn't either.
Was that right on time or what?
That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that.
I didn't notice. I saw something. I'm going woke. Oh, I'm going. Okay, no, that was
her
not
name is covered here.
Yeah.
Now I see it. Oh
yeah, I just going, oh, okay. So that wasn't planned, family, but we're just having a lot of fun. We got in a good, positive light. We listened to some Sting and Robert Downer Jr. before we came on because some of the stuff we're going to chat about tonight, folks, ain't pretty.
It's not.
It ain't pretty. But let's get to some fun stuff. How has the week been for both of you?
It's been good.
Ups and downs, I tried not to tune in to everything this week because it really was like a knee-jerk reaction. I was really sorry to hear about Lance Reddick passing away. That kind of really messed me up, really, in a, from the John Wick.
Yes, yes.
I was really sad because he's my age, and it's just, your peers in your age group, you start to really feel badly. It was like, wow, what a gifted actor, and seemingly a lovely person. People said he was just lovely and wonderful. So that was really hard.
What I can't get is when he died of natural causes. What's natural causes?
I guess anything that isn't fentanyl. I mean, I don't know. It's like,
I was going to say the same
at
thing.
this point,
It's not drug related.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's natural causes?
I know. At 60, what could possibly be? It had to be something pretty fast and urgent, like very fast. They said it was fast.
Yeah, but natural causes.
I know. Because it's just like woke. Everybody's confused with, they're not even using the same dictionaries anymore. I don't know what words mean anyway. What are words for when no one...
I just got through dancing to that song.
That's right.
I said, I'm going back to some real fun music.
I know. Missing Persons. Yeah, it was a great song.
Was that with Terry Bozzio?
Terry Bozzio and Dale, his wife. Yeah.
Dale, his wife.
Yeah.
And it's funny. One of the good uses of YouTube, I've been going through a lot of music history and seeing performances from many years ago of like Terry Bozzio and Herbie Hancock.
Yeah. Right.
And there's so much great stuff of performances, no offense, America, but them in Europe and Japan.
Totally.
That are just so phenomenal. There was maybe I'll do it next week before we come online or after. I watched, it must be maybe like a 1950s, 1960s performance of Oscar Peterson.
Oh, yeah. I saw them.
Oh,
Oscar
did you
Peterson.
see? No, but this performance.
Oh no.
It's like.
Well, Dr. Vibe, it's because the audiences abroad are more intellectual and they're smarter than American audiences. No offense, but American audience are more like into the, jingly jangly, basic. They're very basic. Shows got more creative the further out of America you went, and artists take more chances live.
Yeah, like there's a song on this video. Again, I'm not musically inclined. The experts are on the other side of the screen, not I. But he's playing two different melodies, one on each one hand and one on the other hand. I'm just looking at this, and what's even crazier is he has an acoustic band bass player, and Barney Kessel on guitar, great jazz player, and they're just looking at him, going, who is this guy? They're just they're just looking, going, So other people are here. Wig Maniac is in the house.
Hey. We weren't on when it was National Wig Day. International.
When was that? When was that?
It was last Wednesday or the Wednesday before. We weren't on, so we have to plan ahead for the next Wig Day to wear our wigs. Yes.
Dale, she says Dale Bozzio, and this is trouble. Black Beauty, I've been waiting for the show all day. Oh boy, all this mess going on in my country now.
I know.
When we have our family waiting for us, boy, and Wig Maniac goes, yes. Last Friday was International.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't.
Well, maybe we'll have to get the National Wig Day whenever that is.
National Wig Day. So do you want me to come on with a George Clinton wig or something?
Something, yeah. Or George Washington.
No, Jill. Sorry. I love you, but that ain't going to happen, girl.
Okay, you can do George Jefferson.
That would work. Washington, yes. No, Washington, no. Jefferson, sorry. But yeah, really. But no. But I've always wanted to. I don't know if they still do those commercials where they had, I don't know, it was Clairol, and they used to have the model that would, and they put their hair up like that.
Yeah, they did.
I've always wanted to do one of those.
Oh my God! Wow.
Just to freak people out. Just freak people out. They say,
Well, I'm sure Wig Maniac could direct us to the best wig companies to buy that aren't too expensive. These wigs these days are crazy money.
Nuts.
Wow.
Nuts. They are up there. They are.
And what tells me what country probably has a corner on that marketplace?
India.
Is it India or China?
I'd say India. I think their hair just grows super fast, and
India.
And the hair is so much softer.
Okay.
No, I'm trying not to be rude, but
hold on. What did you just say?
I'm trying not to be rude because
say that no, say that one more time.
I'm trying
because I want to see if I can get that in a clip.
I'm trying not to be rude or offend anybody, but I think the Indian hair, I've bought my share of weave hair in the day. And personally, I had hair from Italian hair. I've had Indian hair. I've had Chinese. And then I even had that yaki stuff. But for me, in my opinion, the Indian hair was the nicest.
Okay.
It held up too.
I've never done it.
They had no dyes.
I've never done it either.
I think they just eat well. That Ayurvedic, the Vedas, the Rig Vedas, they're just blessed with this beautiful hair. They could cut it like this off tomorrow, shave it off, and it'll be long in a day. It'll be all the way down their back tomorrow. Unreal.
Okay, well,
I remember once my cousin and I, this is so culturally not appropriate. But when we were little girls.
Can you say your line of the show again?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be rude.
Thank you. Okay,
we were so enamored with the Indian culture that in a way we wanted a little piece of that. And this was not like a joke. So we took crayons and melted them on a light bulb. And then we'd put bindis on our head, red, which, bindis mean you're married or whatever, different things. And we walked around. We must have been about 11 or 12. Yeah, I remember that.
My only question is, are there pictures of this?
No
Good.
pictures.
Right.
Our people didn't have that many cameras. And if somebody for an event, do you look at stuff now and go, who had the camera?
Right?
Only a handful of people showed up with a camera. And it's somebody who's like, hey, I brought this camera. And everybody's like, oh, okay.
And half of them are still sitting in people's closets because they never.
It's true, never developed them. And then also, yes, because that would have required taking it somewhere. And then the other part was there were so many people, like your grandparents, who were like, don't put me on that thing. I'm not drunk. Get that out of my face. So then you don't have that. So all we have, which people now, we have memories. And what's so beautifully cool about memories that are not recorded in photography, sometimes some of them are traumatic, but some of them just spring up when you're walking along. These are memories really stored. I kind of feel like this phone thing has made a lot of memories artificial.
Oh yeah.
People are always pretending like it's an event. Okay, we're out here having dinner. Let's look like we had fun. And actually memories don't stick. I'm always like, who the
studios in LA for people to come and take Instagram pictures. They stage the whole thing. There's one that looks like a plane, and you can look like you're sitting in a plane.
Yes,
and looking out the window.
It's pathetic. It's just pathetic.
We better stop, or Black Beauty is going to get mad. She's been waiting for us all day.
Yes.
So we don't want to get Black Beauty angry. So let's get to our first converse. Oh, White Maniac says, okay, it's horsehair and human hair. What about horsehair and human hair? I'm curious, but we'll get to it. Let's get to our conversation topics. Well, a tweet went out on, was it Saturday? A former U.S. president said he's going to be arrested next week.
Okay, I have issues with this. I would love it. Oh my God, I could tell you right now, I would be sitting back with my popcorn, having me a good old time watching this. But there is something very this doesn't sit right with me.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't sit right with me. For one, you don't know when they're going to come and arrest you, if they're going to arrest you. Right. That's not something that they're going to announce. So that's something that he may know on the side that they're advising him or whatever. I doubt it. But look at what he did. the first thing out of my mouth to my husband was, look at what he's building. Watch all of his cronies start an uproar. And sure enough, they did. They started going out around Mar-a-Lago with talking about we're going to protect them. And there's actual tweets and press releases of them saying what they're going to do. They're that stupid that the FBI can just read that right there and go, okay, we know what you're going to do, so we're going to do it. So something to me, it doesn't sit right to me at all about this. He is scared. I know he is. So what he's trying to do is actually see, to my opinion, see how many people are really going to rally around him to protect him if anything does go down.
Yeah, because his rallies are a little slim, if you ask me. But, you know, I think that I'm with Lala a little here. It's something's fishy about it. Either that or he's just a control freak. They've leaked something and told him that they're going to come. Or why wouldn't he just go down there and show up and then not have to deal with all this nightmare? But I don't believe it. I mean, as far as I know, dude could be packing and on a plane tonight headed out somewhere because, you know, we don't really have the swiftest DOJ and customs people who would definitely turn a blind eye like, okay, go. Oh, yeah. So, you know, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. It's funny seeing a lot of his cronies and people out there because a lot of them are supposed to be in prison already, in jail. Yeah. But we could thank Merrick Garland for not taking care of that either. So when the doo-doo hits the fan, then we just, now we know, because sometimes I think the DOJ just has done everything to help this man, you know. But what bothers me the most is I'm a little bit suspect of the fact that there's 3 Black people in different states, the AGs and the DAs, being the ones to indict a former sitting president.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I know they put Jack there, Jack Smith, but it's not. Why 3 Black people? Of all the things that these people can't stand, why would you have that be the thing to just bring down? I don't like that. Is it like the jump off for a race war, or is this just a setup of some sort? So I never know.
So much that we don't know what's really true. It's like the old fable.
We don't.
Crying wolf, 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 and then when it actually happens, you don't know if it's really going to happen or not. I'm really tired. I'm really tired of this whole.
Me too. Yeah, I don't care. I personally think that the arrest on him is too late for me. I just think that there's nothing they can do in the courts that time won't be able to take care of, because it's looking like it's that time. If they just keep hammering on the stress of it for him, you know, people are going to be upset if he had a heart attack tomorrow and it was because of all of this. They'll jump off anyway. These are people who have nothing else to do. They put a lot of time into this. They don't really have lives. They've devoted their last part of their lives to him. And a lot of them aren't going to be up and running because even they don't look too good themselves. So I don't know if he's going to get the turnout that he actually thinks. Maybe some of the Proud Boys, but don't forget 10 hours ago, the Proud Boys got their asses kicked in New York by the drag queens at the children's story time. They beat the shit out of them. So that there's footage, everybody on Twitter, of them running from this storyteller. You don't go to New York and mess with our drag queens. You do not. They will tell you. They may look all dainty and like, hello. No, even the women aren't like that in New York.
It's funny because somebody tweeted, okay, we're ready for you in Baltimore. If you think you're really going to come here and cause a problem, come here and let's show you what it's really like. People are tired of this.
But is it in a cryptic way? Is that maybe what 46 wants? No, 45. 45 yes.
Of course he does. I mean, because he is a attention monger. Period. Everything has to be centered around him. If you take your eyes off of him 1 second, he's gonna sit like a crybaby. I love all the cartoons and the memes they put out of him as a baby, because that's exactly what he is. He wants attention to be on him 24/7, because otherwise, you know, who would he really be?
Right. I mean, they're not real. you know, at what they did anyway. Look at how they fumbled at the Capitol. It's sad. There were definitely people who got killed, and that of our military, of our police office, Capitol Police. But what's interesting is that the system still held tight and knew how, even though it wasn't the best shining moment for that either, because there's some traitors in the stew, it still found its way to recover. So some people always say it was luck, but I do believe that when you have firm systems in place, they don't all just fall at once. There's something that usually will stick. I think what he tries to do is to keep destabilizing all the systems. But if he thinks that his people are going to show up and show out, I don't think he's going to get what he wants. I think there will be a few, but they need to protect all of them. In Atlanta, they need to be protected. And, you know, all across the board, all the allies in our thing. But, you know, it's also a catch-22 is you just never know about the Secret Service, I suppose. You got to sleep with one eye open with them, too. So I would encourage everybody to hire their own private security people.
And watch your back.
All right. So we got some comments from the family here. Oops, okay, hold on. I'm all over the place. Here we go. Justin says he wants another riot, another J6. Regina says yes. Says Black Beauty, well said, Jill. Black Beauty saying, I'm praying his following doesn't come and rally and raise for him like he thinks. She also says, I don't think New York City is a good place for 45s to raise.
No.
And then she also says, to me, it would be awesome if they actually arrest him and revoke his bail, or if he flees the country right now and flees to Russia.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He'll be in Dubai if he goes anywhere. You know, this is a man who doesn't drink. It would suit him well. There's a lot of women there, a lot of prostitutes. So it would serve him well. There's even drugs if he wanted them, I'm sure. But that being said, I just don't think it's going to play out the way he thinks it. He wants it to desperately, but that one who looks like Sammy Davis Jr., what was the guy who also helped to form the Capitol? He was the black guy who put it together with the friends of his. Anyway, he turned his back. Ali Alexander or something turned his back and said, "I'll pray for him though, but I won't be out there, you know, raising
right,
because he's under scrutiny. He's looking at some time too. So we'll see if his old, you know, I haven't heard anything from Roger Stone. Did he say anything? Giuliani, has he said anything?
Well, they said that Giuliani is supposed to be called in tomorrow.
But I mean, did they say anything from him? Because remember, they used to all pile on and be like bros, like, bro, I got you. Ain't nobody got each other at the moment. So somebody's got gum on their shoe and isn't telling anybody else that they see it. You know, wild is about to go off.
So Wig Maniac says, I'm sure they'll be monitoring the airports. Really? I can't guarantee that.
I wouldn't trust that either.
I think they let him go. I think they'd let him go because that would be, there's no problem. We don't have to deal with this.
Right.
Okay. Jill and LaLa.
But wait, Dershowitz, Dirty Dershowitz.
Oh, yeah,
yes. Maybe he can also, don't worry, he can be president from jail.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I couldn't even believe that.
So I think somebody made Dershowitz an offer he can't refuse. That's why he acts like a total clown. It's like, dude,
what caused him to change? Like, no, years ago he was, I guess, somewhat stable.
Dirty. He's done something that somebody knows. It's absolutely horrific too, because he's willing to go on TV and look like Bozo the clown. He's willing to just, somebody should just send him an outfit to just show up and just put paint on. I'm a clown. I'm a clown.
Jill, you know, Jill, are you good at Photoshop at all?
I am actually. I should do it, right?
I just unleashed a very brutal idea now because I can see.
I mean, it's embarrassing. He's still upset that he's not invited to parties at Martha's Vineyard.
I know.
It's like, no, we've got clowns for our kids' parties. Sorry.
Right.
You know.
And then also Black Beauty says this: Pence is definitely going to speak. He has been called to the DA. This will be interesting. But I thought I read something in the press that he's saying that 45 should not be arrested. Did I read?
He's such a bad poker player.
I'm sorry.
Was I reading wrong? Did he say that he
did say that.
Oh my gosh.
He is
he
like,
should be punished for January 6th, but don't arrest him.
If he were my husband and we were sleeping in the same bed, I would back kick him out of the bed. I'd just be like, get out of here. I mean, honestly, Pence is like, hopefully they have separate rooms. I'd be like, separate bedrooms.
This man had people threatening to kill you, and you're defending him now?
And you're still defending him. And he's actually said that. He's actually said they were going to kill me. He actually said that recently. And now you're still in there protecting this man. What closet? I'm scared to see what's in your closet. I'm probably more afraid of Pence than I am right now, because you don't know what's going to fall out of his closet.
I know. And I think that one of the interesting things when I mentioned about the three AGs, them being Black, why it's historical. We've never had that ever in this country, let alone for the magnitude of what they're all facing and how people are trying to go after Fani and pass these laws. So if there were three white people, yes, it would still be a trifecta that you'd go, wow, that's crazy, but not to this degree, because it would be how the white supremacists see their peers, coming for them. This is different. This is people who they think are beneath them coming and taking them out. So there is a lot of aggression behind what could go down. And, people who really don't like melanated people could become pretty wicked on Tuesday.
Yeah, like
when he's arrested, which is bad.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Jill, that they're going to be coming for them.
Yeah,
they're going to be coming for them sure.
They always want the timing, and they don't need an excuse. All you got to do is say go, blow the wind. They're ready.
Look how they went for Whitmer, Governor Whitmer. They want it bad, and they still are coming. And if they have time to figure out how to do the most heinous crimes, they will. This is like, remember, we had people in this country, and there's still a case right now about a boy who was found decapitated. And they said in Mississippi or Alabama that it was no problem.
I saw that. Yeah, that case. Don't even let me get started.
I know. But we had James Byrd, who was
for the injustice system to say it was natural causes, or basically there's and it's been a while.
Natural causes, another one.
Natural causes.
Your head just falls off.
Yeah,
right. Just falls off from your body, and that's a natural cause. We saw this ramping up. It's sad we never did anything since James Byrd, because when James Byrd was dragged on the back of his truck in Texas, that was a warning. And that went back, 20 years? That was letting us know we have not forgotten, and we still don't like melanated people, and we're coming for you. By hook or crook, we're going to do it. And they have sufficiently gone, and what is really crazy about the law in Tennessee with the pregnancies and abortions, where now there is no, if you're pregnant and it's going to cause you to die in the pregnancy, there is no exceptions to any pregnancy. It doesn't matter. What they're trying to do is either A, get you to move out, B, they want you to leave. And so they want that electorate thing. They're going to make it miserable for people of color. So they want you to move out, or they will kill you, because Black women have the highest rate of mortality in this country when they have children in pregnancies. And that's another way of, let's just get rid of them.
Yes.
So they're not fooling anybody. This is a very systematic.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back here. Regina says Pence is trying to wiggle out of testifying, but the judge can order him to testify. Regina says also Pence is afraid of death threats becoming real. And then Black Beauty says, right on, Lala. Yeah, I think that, no, I just think that.
But Pence won't say anything that means anything. He'll just speak gobbledygook. He'll go out there and literally start, like, if he had to speak, you know, backwards, he would, just to get away from this.
Okay, I have a question for both of you, and I raised it before. I'm going to raise it again before we went live today. I'm going to say all the questionable behaviors over all these years of 45, and they're going to arrest him for hush money.
Right.
With Stormy Daniels. Is that really worth it?
No.
No. But this is why I'm not 100 behind Bragg, only because I don't know if this is all kabuki theater to make it so it diminishes everything else that comes. Remember, he didn't want this case. He didn't want to push forward with this. And now all of a sudden he does on one of the weakest really a weak charge, because people are already bringing up Paula Jones and Bill Clinton and trying to find that rationale where there isn't. But the fact that I have to sit and defend it is really annoying to me.
Yes.
So what I find is I'm a little bit sus with Bragg, because I think, like, how did a man go from not wanting to prosecute to now prosecuting and on the weakest charge? It's weird to me. But what it does do is if he walks away
so much,
if he walks away from it, it strengthens his votes.
Yep.
So that's why I think Bragg might be in pocket.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry.
I would not be surprised.
But I can't trust any of them at this point, because he didn't step like that. He's made some, you know, very interesting deals in his life with people. And I think that there are people who maybe they don't get horses' heads in their beds, but they get something. That's an offer they can't refuse.
I have to agree. There's stronger things, like I said, in Georgia that they could
absolutely.
And now,
but they're going to make the case so, like, everybody thinks when Fonnie comes around or when Jack Smith comes out, by that time, nobody's listening. They made a mockery out of the whole, you know, system. And remember, there were two main prosecutors who left Bragg under Bragg.
Yep.
So why? And they were really had their business together.
Yeah.
So something just smells funky to me.
No, I just like I said,
it's a show. It's a real show right now, and it's like we're getting all the sheriffs together. Why you got to tell me that? Oh, he sent out a memo. Don't worry, blah blah blah. It's like, what? Why is this like starting to be like I'm watching Old Dynasty from 1980 something? You know, where's Alexis Colby, y'all?
and Carrie, and what was her husband's
Diane
name?
Carroll showed up too. Oh yeah, whatever, Mr. Carradine or no.
What's the? Oh, it's gonna bug me. What's the guy's name?
Mr. Colby.
Colby. No. What was that? Carrington. Where's the Carringtons?
Yes, Carrington. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Dynasty.
So yeah, it's starting to be a little bit like that for me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
like
because I just don't get Bragg's conviction here. It's like, and everybody's guessing, gonna get her on Stormy Daniels, and it's like, really, there was so much more, but you're not gonna go for that.
Yeah.
We're going to go for
that's it. Yes. Regina goes, yes. Blake Carrington. Yes.
Carrington.
And it was
nice name, though. Wasn't that a good name?
Okay.
Good character name.
So here's the pop quiz. If anyone remembers that show, who played the original Blake Carrington? What was the name of the actor?
I know.
Let's see if anyone in the audience.
Without Googling.
Yeah, without Googling.
Yes. Okay, and then for bonus points, who were the top two female stars of that show? Jill's on. She's on it.
That's why I know they contacted the script writer for this Bragg thing. They said, who wrote Dynasty. We need him for the script.
Okay, so Jill,
Melania's
look
Linda
at Justin.
Evans.
No, Justin. Oh, Justin, did you Google? Did you Google Justin? He said John Forsythe, yes, played Blake Carrington, and then Justin's on fire. Joan Collins and Linda Evans. Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah.
And and let me just ask too, you know something? Reruns of that show now would be a hit.
Totally. Melania is a mean Linda Evans, and Ivanka is Joan Collins.
Yes. And yes.
Yeah. And wait, wasn't there some like hillbilly granddaughter who came with Billy Joe or somebody who came along that they found?
Well, Justin says,
or was that Dallas? Sorry.
I like this. Nope, I'm a film, TV, music buff.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Justin, thank you please subscribe. Love to have you on. Well, we're working on a little side project on right now, Justin. Maybe we'll invite you for an episode. We're just going to leave it there. Just going to leave it. Yeah, but Joan Collins, Linda Evans, and John Forster, and then Diane. Oh, did she look stunning in those outfits?
God, I loved her in that. I would just sit there and look at her and dream. She was just elegant. I just loved her.
She was.
Yeah. Elegance, and class. Diane
Wasn't she his first wife or something? Yeah.
So we're really having fun tonight. Regina says, my dad would not allow Dynasty in our home. He called it total
Isn't
trash.
That funny?
I was in my 20s and I could not watch it if I visit. Wouldn't it be interesting if your dad would let you watch that show in today's environment?
What's your dad saying about the news?
If your dad is still with us, let alone TV show environment, political environment. I'd probably say, oh, you can watch Dynasty. Don't turn on the news.
I know, right?
Right.
God.
But no, Dynasty was, and again, I don't watch the Housewives shows. It was such more class than these Housewives shows.
Yeah, I'm not into the Housewives shows. I think but
it was so class. But that show was well written, classy, and of course, you can't forget Dallas.
Right. Dallas,
Larry Hagman.
Every week. I love the cliffhangers. You'd be like, oh, now I gotta wait the next week.
It's true.
Who
killed JR?
Yeah. You had Larry Hagman, you had Patrick Duffy, who played, they were brothers, and you had Victoria Principal.
Yes,
that's true. Sure,
Bobby's wife, and JR's wife. Can't remember her name.
Sue Ann, but I don't know who the actress was.
Sue Ann. But and then those two shows back in the day, and then you also had Knots Landing.
My mama loved all those, so we watched those every week.
But do you see, like, those were very good shows to give a marking of what people were interested in, nighttime dramas.
Our family's coming strong with this. Justin goes, quite tame compared to today, very campy today.
But it talks about, it speaks to the attention span. This is like of American people and what they enjoy doing and who they're a lot alike. So these numbers that Nielsen, the documentation and the data they were getting on people during that time was, went to the Pew Institute, all of it. But these are voters that suddenly are still around and they're racist.
Yeah, right.
So let's catch up. So our family is on fire tonight. They love their shows. Linda Gray, that was JR's wife, and Charlene Tilton, who was the buxom blonde in that. And then Regina Ferris goes, remember the cat fight, especially in Dynasty. Especially in look at this. Jill,
Charlene Tilton
hosted SNL with Prince as one of the musical guests.
Yeah,
they did a Who Shot the JR thing.
True.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, those were the shows that you do. Was such a common conversation.
Yes, Regina First. Yes, and Wigmaniac goes, yes, and those wigs never came off during the cat fights.
They didn't.
And then we go, and the beauty of it all was these shows were prior to cable TV.
Yes.
And TV before that, and And Wigman
we weren't on the
ROFL.
24/7 news cycle either.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen Myers, yes. Lucy Ewing was Charlene Tilton, yes.
Yeah.
And Regina goes, and Donnie said was part of Prince's Kiss lyrics. Of course.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that, I'm telling you, this man, we can make fun out of anything, y'all. We can
It's
make
so
fun
true.
out of anything, y'all. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
but it will be very interesting to see what happens this week if America has round 2 of an uprising.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit of a eminence front. It's a put on something.
Yeah, but this will help 45's campaign, though.
Totally will.
And
Yeah.
maybe
You know?
that's why he did it, because he felt his campaign he needed a shot in the arm of this, you know.
But I do think people are tired. They're more fatigued now. They don't have. I don't know. I just don't know if he's the one that they think will have the energy, because he also doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, he does not. Oh, he looks.
He's starting to look like that dude in Harry Potter before, they had to replace him and put the other one in.
Yeah.
All right. And Justin says, Justin is quite the Frizz later updated to Sex in the City in the 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. This is good, family. We're on to our next subject. If there wasn't enough going on politically in America, let's talk about the state of banks in America.
Mm.
What's going on, family? Talk to me. I'm not in your country,
Greed. People saw opportunity in that. Let's not forget there were some of the people who was in that, who got into that bank. They knew the insider thing that they sent Martha Stewart and all of stuff to jail for. They saw the writing on the wall. They took their bonuses. They took their checks. They did everything they could before this crash happened. They knew the banks was going to bail them out, because why? That's what we do. And this is a nightmare, because this is not just one bank we're talking about. There was another bank that fell, and there's another one that's being propped up right now. So I see a throwback of 2008 coming very soon, because this can't be sustained. And why do we continue to bail out these banks? Why?
Well, once Switzerland got involved, that's when
Credit Suisse. And someone told me they got bought today. That company got bought by a bigger bank today.
They did. But, you have to understand that this is the scary thing now. It used to be that this type of thing would happen when the Republicans were in office. Mm-hmm. They seem to have something where in this changeover, that they cause everything to collapse. But the reality is, America, it's not about what's going on here. It's kind of like what's not. America's a dead body. It's a man on the road, and they are fleecing its pockets, as they always do. And now they're taking the gold teeth out. This is what America is, a dead body. And everything that gets injected back into it is so artificial that it's never a real economy, which is why BRICS is going to come and dust this place completely to nothing. But you've got people who know that, and they're already aligning themselves with the mentality of BRICS. They're already doing it. All the rich billionaires are like, yeah, this isn't sustainable. So we know it's going to shift. We're going to start buying our properties here, there, everywhere, move stuff out of here. This place is going to be like some old broke down, ignorant people. It's going to be illiterate and basically a way station after they've, it's going to be like, did you ever read a book by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Arendira and her crazy grandmother or something? It was a weird movie where Arendira was a little girl who her mother ran off and left her with her grandmother, and her grandmother turned her into and tied her to a bed and used to have men just come and have sex with her all the time. Well, my meaning is, as a metaphor, is that's America. Mm-hmm. That is what they did to the Statue of Liberty. Just put her on her back and you'll be able to see what this picture is. And it's really bad.
So for those who are watching live on replay, I read a very interesting recent article by a gentleman named Robert Reich, well-known economist who used to be in the U.S. government. Interesting title: U.S. banks want socialism for themselves and capitalism for everyone else.
Yes.
And I think it just put it perfectly, because when this bank collapsed, it's a Silicon Valley Bank.
Yes.
Okay. according to American laws, they're only supposed to be covered for $250,000.
Yes, of your deposits.
Right? For some reason, the government said all their money, all these investors' money is going to be covered.
That's right.
I said, really? I said,
Jerome Powell and old Janet Yellen. But no, guys, she just fulfilled her reason for being in there. You know, she's going to retire after this. She's going to go away.
Yep.
Watch.
And go away rich.
Because she fulfilled her mission. She fulfilled why she was there.
Yeah, these are all backdoor moves again. Like we always talk about, everything is a backdoor move.
Because when they do these clean erases, then the money trail gets wonky.
Yes.
Then it gets like, well, how did they make that? And where did that come from? Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got some other things here too. Now people are saying Black Beauty says, I just can't wrap my head around the banks falling again on steroids. Also, Regina goes, what part has crypto played in this? Not really a lot. And then here's another interesting person. Dodd-Frank. Barney Frank. Okay, so
wow, is he a corrupt guy? He came to one of my gigs, guys.
What?
In New York. He was friends with a friend of mine and a photographer that I knew, and I was singing and whatever, and after Barney Frank was there, it was kind of cool then. I was not even into politics at the time, but you know, all I can say is that when old men get older and their time gets limited on this earth, they seem to get greedier. Yes. I don't know what that's about. It's like they think
they could take it with them or something. I really don't know.
I don't know. You're right. It's like, what is that? Because he's very old now. He was old at the gig. He had
But
and he's liberal. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah. What is he?
No, he found a way in because he had the gay community who voted him in and supported him all along. And then he got on the board of directors at Signature Bank. And I used to have stuff at Signature Bank. But I got to tell you one thing. It's like Signature Bank was known for doing some really weird real estate deals. So if you go and look at them just on a whole, they would do deals that were, people didn't have it to close. They shouldn't have been buying the stuff anyway.
There you go.
But they were the developers' bank in New York and for many other places. And they did some shady shit. End of story. But they're all getting bailed out. So talk about losing your faith in your country. Like I said, I'm watching the show.
In the meantime, what I'm seeing on my side is more and more and more and more foreclosures coming through. I have been told, get your training up because we get ready to get flooded. And I'm not kidding you, because all of the COVID restrictions, all of the things that people were protecting people during that time are now being lifted, and there's no resources for them. So therefore, you can't even, if the banks are falling, right? You think they're going to care about you losing your house? So I'm telling y'all, this all is more than what it is. It's deeply rooted, and it's deeply rooted in greed. And those on them that got shall have. There you go. That's it. They're going to get it. They're going to get everything they want. For real. Man gets nothing.
So
when you think there's going to be like a depression and people are going to jump off buildings anymore, they don't allow that anymore. Nope. They won't let that happen. If you're rich, the elites take care of you. That's you will not walk away with, you don't lose everything anymore. And if you do, it's because they don't like you and they want you out of the club.
They're trying to make an example of you.
Okay.
That's it. Maddow was one of their, Madoff was one of their guys.
Ernie Madoff. But see, here's
Fall Guy, actually, Fall Guy.
So for people who don't know the name, Barney Frank, many years ago they passed a bill in the U.S. called the Dodd-Frank Act. It was supposed to protect people from banks and these sort of things. Well, then a certain president named 45 repealed it in 2018.
Right.
I'm not showing any party loyalty here, but this to me, when I start re-looking back, goes back to a certain term called trickle-down economics.
Yeah.
To me, when I look at the challenge of the American financial system, that's when it started to happen. Because for those people who don't remember, President Ronald Reagan had this thing saying, well, we can create a great economy by trickle-down economics, trickle-down theory, which basically said, give tax breaks and incentives to the rich, and the money they'll start spending money and will flow down to the poor. That ain't gonna happen. I don't know too many rich people that want to give money freely to poor people.
No.
So this just continues on, and it just continues on. And as Justin said, and Justin, we're appreciating for the first time, you're giving good game tonight with repeal Dodd-Frank, 45 repeal Dodd-Frank in 2018. Yeah. Big Maniac risk probably a bit. And then Regina says Signature had $10 billion in
wow, well then,
deposits.
Yeah, played a bit in it because it's clearly they were up to something. But let's be honest, I found this quote I wanted to read by Warren Buffett, who said, only when the tide goes out do you learn who has been swimming naked. Meaning that companies that thrived on cheap loans might no longer be able to survive now that the economy has shifted and borrowing is more expensive.
That's right.
So now it's going to get real.
That's what happened to them because the interest rates went crazy on them. They're caught. But there's another. Was it Signature was given a whole bunch of money by banks, and it wasn't like free. They just give them money as a carryover. They want their money back.
Yes, they do. But Signature always does those kind of things, like, you know, and then they'll be the first to like try to get you out. You know, you got people who kite. People can still kite at Signature. You'd say, how are people able to go kiting with a bank in the electronic age? And they do.
Wow.
So LaLa, you deal in real estate, and this I'm sure you have a very interesting lens on seeing what's going on. What are any of your clients concerned about what's going on with the financial industry in America?
Very. I have about 12 buyers right now. About 6 of them have said, nah, we're not doing nothing right now because we don't trust anything. The interest rates are still not where we want to be. Now, mind you, I will tell you that people have gotten a little spoiled with the low interest rates.
It'll never be like that again. Never. Not in their lifetimes. Maybe 20 years.
That's right.
30.
But, you know, they are expecting things to crash. And when things start crashing, especially in California, people can't already afford places. So now they're like, let's just wait to see what happens. So a lot of people are banking on this tank because that's what's going to help them get ahead. But what I see in the background with the other side and what they're telling us to prepare for, I do see it coming.
Okay, I'm going to go even deeper here. This goes back to how money was given by the government ridiculously during the pandemic too.
Yes.
And they didn't have to pay it back. They didn't make them pay it back. These are corporations that have billions of dollars, and they didn't have to pay their money back. And they came for everybody who got a little bit extra. They came and wanted them to pay it back.
You fraud. You're a fraud. Yes. I'm a businesswoman. Yeah. I am a businesswoman. I could have qualified. You know why I didn't take it? Because I knew they was going to try to come back.
And they did that. They tried it, you know, with so many people. And it's been like, this is why. But if people would understand that, do people, as Patti Smith said, do people have the power? Because the only way your power exhibits itself is when you make them starve and go broke. But here's the thing, they get bailed out.
Yeah.
You could be on the street walking, have no home. I saw a young guy today. He was clearly homeless. He must have been about 25. This is not a freaking joke. And here's the irony of it all. You've got stupid Karen Bass trying to figure out and give people homes when you're like, really? In the middle of this economy, you're going to tell me that the money that is going to come in here, people are going to have homes here? And it's just going to become fleeced and stolen by disgusting politicians. They're all kind of disgusting, no matter what your good intentions are.
Let me ask you something. Do you think if any of you and maybe you do, I don't make assumptions, had $500,000 in a bank, and the bank went under, do you think you'd get all your money back?
No, we wouldn't get all of our money back with our deposits. No way.
Then why are the people in the San whatever?
I don't know. Since they said they were individuals and got to pretend that they were human beings or whatever, how come us as human beings don't get the same courtesy of getting our money back?
So,
you know,
what impact is this going to have on the Democratic Party going forward?
Well, they always blame us for everything. So
the country's dead. All it's done for me is made me go, I want to get mine. I don't give a f anymore. Really, Dr. Vibe. If they can fleece the pockets of a dead man on the streets with no aplomb and no shame, then I'm not going to be holding up this moral thing that the Democrats want to keep doing. No, it's time to get down and dirty and get mine. And I encourage all of our people out there, get yours. Get yours. Get yours.
But you know what's coming before.
And take care of your friends. I encourage people to do susus if you can. Do group money. Make things happen for yourself. You got to find people that you totally trust. But, you know, in old times, you got to look back at how poor people got through it. And a lot of times it was by being a village of people, a unit, a strong support group together. But make that money circulate amongst yourselves and get yours.
So Regina says, watch banks start charging us for large fees for insurance.
Of course they will, you know, but.
And watch the rich people give their money to banks overseas like they always do.
Yes.
So are banks too big to fail?
Yes. Just like the 4 major pop stars that exist. They're too big to fail. They're like banks. You know, they put out stupid music and you're like, why am I hearing this? Oh, Taylor Swift's too big to fail. That's right. She doesn't have bad songs. They're just going to play this 1,000 times. So that's all I know.
Think that's all you're going to get. What was that line? There's a line that I always remember. And this comes to me every time. It's just so pertinent to me. It was in the movie Malcolm X. And it's when Elijah Muhammad held 2 waters. If you give the people dirty water, they will drink it. But if you give them the option of clean compared to dirty, there's no way they're going to drink the dirty water.
Right.
So they're never going to give you the option of the clean water because they want you to stay dirty.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. You know.
No, I think this is very interesting, especially from now Canada has a lot different regulations than the US when it comes to banking stuff.
Yeah.
But it was ironic though. I went into my bank yesterday and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" etc. I said, "Man, there's a long line up here. Are people taking their money out?" They sort of went, "No, they're not."
Anytime they bring that little demon, Jamie Dimon, into it, you know, his name is Diamond, but it really should be Demon. That's actually in spiritual warfare. You start looking at those kind of, we go, haha, that's funny. That's not a mistake. That's his vibration. Little Jamie Demon is out there trying to get more money and scarf it down. And he's on the inside. He's part of the establishment. There is, you know, what can you do? But we are in trouble. The thing for you in Canada, Dr. Vibe, is that all of this reverberates around the world. But it's interesting how Switzerland kind of had their little issue and they're in the mix. These are the people who never want to be in a war. When it reverberates like that with Switzerland, there's a lot happening right now.
Yeah.
There is. And I just, as I said, I'm watching and going, and it seems that the regional banks, at the end of the day, who's going to win the most? The big banks, the big national banks.
Well, I mean,
they always do.
At the end of the day, they are too big to fail.
Mm-hmm.
They are too big to fail. But this one is, wow. Like, I can't believe all those Silicon Valley banks account holders are going to get their money back full.
Roku was one of them. I mean, everybody.
Invested.
Vice magazine, a couple, you know, but the reality is, why were they all there? Who was running it? Who was bringing it in and out? Why were they all there? That was a dream team bank, if you ask me. Why?
That's true. That would make a very interesting doc. I'm sure we'll see
because the bank was never real. It was set up.
country in 20 years.
Because the bank was probably set up for this cabal, this kerfuffle. It was already devised. It had so many people on the inside, and they all fell. And now we're all going to get shafted. And they've all made, there was a wonderful book that I used to like called The Four Agreements. Beautiful book.
I got it. I have it.
I've read that over 20 some
These
times.
people in big business.
I got that book.
Agreements, but they're not anything like those pure four agreements. The people in big business, they are the economy. They're everything that's falling and failing. And it's almost like there is a real slow, like, let's really shaft America. America's done. Let's get what we can and purge it. There is a purge going on in this country. It's a metaphorical purge, and they're all doing it. They're gutting it like a fish.
What was the song I played a little while back before before we went live? When the world is running down, you make the best of what's still around. You make the best.
Yeah, I mean, do you look at China with Africa? They're putting up hospitals. They're doing all these things, and Africa has said, "Well, screw it. We're going to align with China." So you sit here and go, "Wow, this is really scary," because but.
Look at this. Interesting comment from Regina Frills. I know this sounds a bit odd, but I think online banking needs to go. Things need to slow down. Too late.
Too late. You can't put it back in the bag.
No.
Too late.
It's like that Jack in the Box that's like this, and you're like, I can't put it back. It broke. It broke when it came out.
Yep. It's exactly like that. Best analogy right there.
Look, if AI is coming,
America is going to be Gotham. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be Gotham City, the one with this last boy and Zoe Kravitz in it. It's going to be that. And if you're not rich to get out of it, it's going to be awful to live here.
All right. Well, we will keep a watch on the finale. I'm sure by the time we're on next week, it's not looking good. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Mr. Biden setting that precedent. He's going to have to. It's really not a good thing, because I know a lot of African Americans are going to say, "Oh, really? Okay, you build all those people out, right? Okay, so if my bank goes belly up, am I going to get all my money back, no matter how much is in there?"
I saw an old man today. He should have been in his own home at 70-something years old, rather than pushing a cart and having his little dog on a leash walking with him through the streets of Pasadena, and every day that I see more of them, more and more, I realize how dead the country is, and the people are most likely to. They're hard hearts. Did you really, it's dead. And the rich always fleece the shit of it, especially the Republicans, every time they get an opportunity, if they're ever in charge of anything. And the Republicans do theirs, the Democrats do theirs, like, let's invest in it. I wonder how many of them just got bailed out in the SVB, because they're no different. They're not going hungry tonight, okay?
No.
I would have expected, oh my God,
But nothing. Heard no peep from them.
Never.
Nothing.
They still eat well. They still go out to restaurants. Like they're always like, well, we've got to keep the economy moving. The weirdest thing for me always was after 9/11, I could never get over the fact of go shopping after seeing people jumping from a building.
So
the last thing I wanted was to shop.
We're going to come back to it, but I don't want to set off another, but we got to talk about it next week. How Jerome Powell recently said that in order for the economy to get better, some people got to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
When I heard that,
Jerome Powell needs to go on and shave all of his hair off. Live.
When I heard that, I said, the more I know, the less I understand. After I heard that one, I just said, really?
There is a site that you can go to in America to see if your company has registered to have layoffs. Is it DARE or DAR? It's something like that, that when a company has over 100 employees, they have to report it to the US government, funny enough, because that's how they start getting their numbers. I think it's DARE, D-A-R-E. I'll think about it. Not DARE. You guys talk and I will find that, because it's something good to know so that you know to go look for a new job as soon as you see, if you're a company, if you're with a corporation, a big corporation, if you see that, to make moves.
Just so before we went to our next conversation piece, UBS, one of the biggest financial organizations in the world, buys beleaguered Credit Suisse to avoid a potential financial collapse. So that contagious. So it's happening, and large layoffs are likely.
And who's on the board? Saudis?
Swiss, yep. So anyone who's working at Credit Suisse, your job, well, here's this. So it says UBS has more than 74,000 employees working from nearly 50 countries. Credit Suisse is also international and the second largest Swiss bank with around 50,480 employees. So that's about 124,000 employees. People are going to start losing their jobs real quick. Large layoffs. So, Mr. Powell, at least in America, you may get some of those loss of jobs. Let's move on. Next up, the International Criminal Court announced that it has issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin on suspicion of war crimes because of his involvement in abductions of children from Ukraine.
Okay, that's great on paper, but nothing's going to come of it. Again, it's a cry wolf thing. You know what they need to do, and this is unpopular for a lot of people, but you know, to me, it's wrong of us to sit back and watch this man do what he's doing and do nothing but sit back and say, "Oh, this is terrible. This shouldn't be happening." No, we're just as guilty as the world sitting back letting it happen that anybody else that he's doing it himself. I don't see anything coming from it. My man is traveling around like he ain't worried about it. Okay, so he's not worried about it. They're not really going to do anything about it. How are they going to enforce it? Again, this is just more fluff in the news. Symbolism.
I know he was out yesterday somewhere in St. Petersburg, or he went somewhere, and I think it was just to flaunt himself, like, catch me if you can. Yeah. I mean, at one point I thought, today I heard people talking about George W. Bush and, you know, these TV shows on these news things, they've got to make so much time filling in the gaps and all this stuff. And at one point I was like, they alluded to, you know, the Iraq war and him being thought of as a war criminal. But he, from what I gather and what I've seen, we have never had any president go on to have a warrant, international warrant for his arrest. I think this one and Putin and Milosevic and all those people, definitely. But what comes of it? Because, you know, we were talking the other day about the Nuremberg trials and things like that. If they had really been able to punish the amount of people that they needed to punish, first of all, it would have gone for decades of these trials, but they stopped them because morale was getting so bad with people in the world. Didn't want to hear about the atrocities of Auschwitz or Dachau. They couldn't deal with it at The Hague or at Nuremberg trials or wherever. So they stopped them. If they had have like hung and killed everybody that they needed to, necessary, a lot of them wouldn't come to America and we wouldn't have to deal with their nasty offspring. They wouldn't have been able to procreate. They would have been, done. So whatever comes of this, the International Criminal Court, they could barely get together to like talk about, what's the price of shoelaces. I doubt anything. Authority is not respected across the world. It isn't. Nobody cares. Putin doesn't care. People are still goofing about, I think he's sick. Is he sick? Is he sick? Does he have something? That's acting. He's going for an Oscar. He's pretending to shake and everything else. And first of all, who cares? He's going to do what he wants to do. He's another one. Why would Barney Frank want to have more money so he could eat himself into oblivion? He does. He wants to do it. So same with Putin. He's 100 years old. Why does he want more power? Because he does. I can't help it. These people are nuts. They're pazzo. You know? What do we do with them? It's crazy old men with long, saggy pants. What is up with saggy pants in old men? There is a point where it changes. Pants don't look. Does the pelvis area change? What is that? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
It's when your dad moves from like, that's my dad, to he's got old man pants.
Yes.
On.
That are up to his.
Yes, and there's something that just so anyway, they're all getting it. Had it at one of his rallies. Putin even, I started seeing old man pants. They need to get a tailor quick. Yikes. Anyway, but I digress. Jerome Powell's getting it too. He's got a head of hair, but he's got some pants in the front.
So when you're watching all these men, look at their pants.
Mueller too. Mueller, everybody was like, oh, even I was like, yes, I think he's cool. Then he showed up and he couldn't remember his name and he had pants. And I was like, oh, wow, whoa, this is not good. We went through this talking about that. Remember? Oh, the Mueller report. And there was a part of me that was like, I don't know. Do you think he even wrote it? Did he show up to work? I didn't want to say it then, but like, he had me looking like a fool. Everybody who's been following us that long would be like, yeah, Jill was like, Mueller. Yeah. That dude had me looking like a fool when he went and had to talk at court and everything. I was like,
oh my goodness.
I was rough. I was hard to swallow.
I don't know if we should even go ahead after that.
Yeah.
Jill, I just think Jill shut us down. She blew the show up. I think you baggy pants and all. Jill, you've blown the Do you want to do one more? Or do you want to call it now, family?
One more is good. We've got 15 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. There. I'm gonna put a story in our private chat that we got to talk about next week. Okay. We're not gonna talk about it now. But we got to talk about it next, because I thought about it. I go, wow, we should have talked about this. But especially the two lead stories, no, that's it. That was enough. So, all right, Mexican President AMLO denounced, quote, hypocritical, unquote, U.S. politicians declaring, quote, Mexico is independent and free, not a U.S. colony or protectorate.
Well,
Thoughts?
I saw this today. Exactly. I think that let's not forget, like in December of 2021, and I took notes about this. So we remember when VP Harris was, talking about taking $1.9 billion and giving it to Central America in the private sector. This way they thought, oh, we'll deter a lot of these people, immigrants who are coming here. I have a question for AMLO. If it's so happy there, why are your people coming here?
Thank you.
Like, yo. You really want to go there? And they said that, like, because Biden didn't invite him to these meetings and some of these other things, that really AMLO is feeling a little bit out of right. And the problem is that, don't forget, he also got him in last July to commit to $1.5 billion to create these programs about the border. Well, they're not really programs as much as kind of renovating your rinky-dink that you had people coming through. I mean, seriously, one of the reasons why there were so many people that come through is because Mexico was letting them. They also have like a system that's about the equivalent of going to a carnival and handing tickets out when you come through with like a, for their screening process. It's so antiquated. So part of the 1.5 billion, this is where you'll have that kind of catchy thing of like people going, oh, well, we got the Mexico to pay for, the wall, and didn't. So it's kind of a little bit of like the Democrats pat themselves on the back because he did, in fact, AMLO agree to $1.5 billion for these programs. Where they stand at the moment, I don't know. But he's upset because everybody is saying, yo, you're allowing all this fentanyl to come in. And we're like saying, hang on a minute. These are Americans who are popping over, making these deals, bringing it all back over here. So the thing is that he just got upset because, you know, people are starting to look at him, and now he's decided to align with China and basically said, you know, that's the way we're going to go. And he's also speaking more like an authoritarian leader. If you watch him, everybody's got, you know, it's a match. And it's so interesting because they all want to be bulls, all of them from Brazil. Think about this, y'all. I can't wait. Put them all in a room. All those rolling around. Brazil,
You know, man,
Russia, India, China. I mean, look at this crew. South Africa.
Yeah.
Look at this motley crew. They're all broke down. They think what's his face has something wrong with him, Russia. Then you got the other one, Xi, who has like what do you have, an aneurysm in his head, and he's too afraid to go and have surgery because he doesn't trust anybody to do his surgery. This is like, and now they all want to be, the African leaders are aligning with China. What it's saying to me, guys, is that they're all coming for us in America. And I get it. We have some problems here, but if we don't wake up and try to get together together, if we're not billionaires who can like skirt out and get out of this place, we're in a lot of trouble. This is not the time to be, because they don't care about us.
No.
And they'll all be friends with the billionaire class, but they will see us all as peasants, and, you know, and not any of them really care that much for us as melanated people anyway. They don't. There's none of them. They're not Russians.
Well, the president also said that he welcomes China to come and put in a nuclear plant.
He did. That's what they want.
Do that.
I know.
So he said it. You know, about people saying
so. That's all you want is the cartel to be running the nuclear plant. That because let's be honest, that president doesn't really run his country. He's who they let sit up there and talk smack.
Whoever they allow.
We know he ain't running his country. He has no say. He does not run it. And that's the other best kept secret. So in my opinion, you know, it's not enough that we give them $330 million a year just in aid. This whole point is like, let's really, like, seriously, I've said it before, let's close that border off. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I'm not a right winger. You want to talk to me that way? I'll take your door off. You know, like if you have kids, you're going to slam the door. I'll take the door off.
Right.
I actually did that. I hate to admit. But that's my feeling, because it's like, who do they think they are? We really funnel, you know, because what happened is we have people who are working against us, and they're in other countries. When I was in office, 320,000 people came from the border. There's two types of ways you can come in. If it's the first offense, they kind of get to be adjudicated and do the hearing. If it's repeat offenders, they immediately pay to deport them. But what's happened is there were 330 million who came through in 2020 or 2019. But after Biden came in, 1.2 million came in or rushed the borders. So we're now seeing people coming through from Turkey, from all over the world through that end. This is major, big money coming through. Y'all really think these Mexican people from the Honduras are walking? Here's the reality. We just gave close to $3.2 billion in initiatives to Honduras, to El Salvador. What the for? I'd be like, give us our money back. Give it back. Because these initiatives, this is the other thing. The initiatives, it's not necessarily money as much as it's AT&T. It's all the big corporations that have the initiatives to go in and set up and do work and to kind of create these things to give them jobs. They still want to come here? No, stop it. Give our people jobs who are already here. And you talk to me like I'm a sucker free Friday. No. You know, that's what I would do with Mr. Mexico. You talk to me properly. I'm not your. And Biden needs to say that. I'm not your. All your people are so happy. Why are they here? So when we brought that whole thing with the 1.2 million who came through, this is where it became tricky, because in order for Mexico to agree to give us the 1.5 billion in the project to modify their just regular borders, because they hadn't modified them, basically the agreement was we had to give out agricultural visas, and we had to start allowing many of them to come here and provide the work. So Biden provided that. So it's always something. But if you want to play me, you know, Biden and his team, whoever his next person is going to be after his next chief of staff, it really needs to be, you know, it needs to be somebody who's a little harder hitting.
Yeah, agree.
So.
I don't think I can add.
That's it, family. We done. One other last additional comment that was put in, and we'll put it in right now. Regina says, don't the ingredients from fentanyl come from China? I think a lot of them do.
Well, really, they ship things. It doesn't have to be isolated to one siloed organization. You think that the people in other countries are going, well, you know, Iraq is only poppy seed, so they're the only place that's going to make heroin. No. You know, it's crazy, because as it is, there's something that just came out new that didn't even need to have it, and they put fentanyl in it now. It's just crazy. It's just for kicks and giggles now.
Yeah.
Let's just kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yep. And Cinema Canelas, yes, says right. The cartels are taking over every country in Central America, and the USA
and
does
that's what
not
our
get
aid money was for, to help them.
Yeah.
Mainly, most of our money is for their law enforcement.
Yeah. And then, Wigmaniac says, Regina, freeze, yes. But you know what? And also, too, unfortunately, we didn't even talk about this topic, and maybe we'll talk about it next week, about the 2 Black Americans who were killed in Mexico.
Yeah.
We'll get to that hopefully next week. For now, we're going to put a bow on it, because we got to get our pants in order, according to somebody. So we're going to... So as always, lady,
hollowed out.
Yes, don't worry. I got to make sure if Jill ever sees a picture with pants, I got to make sure my pants are at the right level. Yes. So thank you. So as always, ladies, we want to thank you for taking time out of your positive, productive schedules to educate us, entertain us, enlighten us, and empower us. First up on the screen is the LaLa Real Estate Queen.
Howdy. You can reach me on all social media platforms under Realty Guys.
All right. Next up, the most boring person on Twitter.
I know, right? Oh, Jill D. Jones. Oh, guys, I got to tell you something really fast. So yesterday, I went shopping, and I was in a store, and there was a guy and his wife, and they saw these beta fish that were sitting on the counter, and they held it up, and they went, and then I'm in line paying for my stuff, and I turned around to them and I said, "Oh, so you decided to save one?" And then he looked at me kind of like, was there something wrong with this beta fish? So he looked at it, and then he showed it to his wife, and then they put it down and they walked out. And I went, "Oh my God, I'm the reason this fish is not going to have a new life, right?" So I decided, I said, "You know what? Just give all of them to me."
Oh!
You bought them all. Enough said.
So when
wait,
no.
We ain't finished yet. Okay, all right.
When
Keep
I came
on going.
home, my husband said, "You can't put them all together in a tank. They'll kill each other." Well, I didn't know that beta fish are Siamese fighting fish.
Yeah.
So I went around and I was going to buy a tank and an aquarium. They were like, "Well, the only way if you did a big aquarium is to put a lot of foliage in there so that they wouldn't know that there's another fish in there with them." And I was like, "But if they go strolling through, they might see another one and fight." And he was like, to the death. So to make a long story short, I was crying. I was so upset because I was like, they had a better life ahead of them. And I don't like that they're in these cups. You know, I think it's disgusting how they do with these poor little fish. And so they did take them back, which was nice. But I was very depressed about being so impulsive. But I haven't given up. I'm trying to figure this out on, I just have to have 4 fish tanks. That's what I was told.
4?
Yeah, because they can't be together.
That's right.
Oh.
4. And then my husband. Huh?
They don't need a whole lot because of they actually live in rice fields, like little tiny fields. So you can just get these really cute tanks. I've done it. I've had beta.
Oh my God. I'll
They're
talk
adorable.
to you about it because I didn't know what to do. And Eric was looking at me like, you can't leave these in these little cups. You've got to go get them a place to live in now. And I was like, oh.
Jill, you're me.
I came home with a box full of these fish, and he just went, what is that? And I said, I got some fish. And he goes, and I said, here they are. And he goes, he said, where are you going to put? We don't even have one fish tank, let alone, I don't have fish. That was the other thing. So I don't even have a tank. And then they were like, you can get dividers. And I was in there like, just like, what's going to happen to the, it was crazy. Oh, and then nobody had them marked, like if they were boys or girls. Oh, and then my friend is like, you can't put them together, Jill. You'll wake up and all their fins will be off and one will be floating at the top. I was like, okay, Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Goes, give them a chance at the store. Maybe somebody else will buy them. I didn't know people do love them.
Yes, they're good. They're good. They're actually really fun fish.
Oh, I'm going to have to talk to you about this because I was so upset. I mean, I was like saying, I saved them. I saved them all.
So, folks, can you imagine what our after show chat's going to be like? You ain't going to be able to hear it. So we're going to say goodbye to them. Here we go. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone till next week. We covered it all tonight, from banks to pants to fish. What else did we cover? To riots. It's just another conversation called State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. Just the norm. If you want to catch replays of this epic conversation, you can go to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or you can go to my website, the DRVIBESHOW, and check it out there. Also, please feel free to subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. If you do, subscribe and also hit the notification button. That tells you when we go live, or you get notified when I post upcoming epic conversations. You can also like us on Facebook and on other platforms that we broadcast live on. Would you like to promote your business or show, business or service on the show? Sorry, I'm having too much fun today. Contact me at dr.vibe@the.drvibeshow.com. So before we leave, we got some final things. Oh, Weak Maniac goes, haha. Cinema Canela goes, Jill lost her sanity over fish. She smiles. Oh my gosh. Okay. So as always, we close off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it and don't take it for granted. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and walk good.